then Karamoja has to be at the forefront in terms of this mineral sector.
The Karamoja area survey results provide vital insights into the mineral potential of Karamoja and Lamu, which will attract much-needed investment and pave the way for a more sustainable exploitation of the resources.
The results of the project, which we are launching today, indicate high prospectivity from minerals such as iron ore, copper, gold, and limestone. We believe that these findings will attract significant investment in the mineral sector and contribute to the development of Uganda's economy.
Now it is time to use this information to attract big investment, while being very considerate that as a ministry, we are promoting foreign investment, but we must strike a balance with development of the citizenry.
The report indicates high prospects for minerals such as iron ore, copper, gold and limestone.
We are not coming here to change the tradition. We came here to map the minerals and inform you.
The data from the airborne geophysical and geological mapping of Karamoja will not only support mineral exploration, but also assist in attracting both local and foreign investment, contributing directly to Uganda's economic growth.
We aim to ensure we attract formidable investors in the region of Karamoja, but also Lamu, so that with this investment we are able to unlock this particular wealth in the country.
People of the area must really benefit out of this, through education, etc. Good enough. Some companies have already started doing so.
According to Nankabirwa, the ministry will engage stakeholders, including investors, local communities, and other government agencies, to ensure that the benefits of this project are shared equitably. Maureen Babidie for UBC.
Uganda has risen from the 9th place in 2017 to the 4th place in the 2024 ABSA Financial Markets Index. At the report released in Kampala, the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Uganda, Michael Atig Ego, hailed the steady progress, noting that the performance is a testament of a resilient economy driven by strong macroeconomic performance and transparency. We have a report.
While Uganda celebrates this milestone achievement, it's imperative to recognize that there's still a lot of work to be done, says Dr. Ego, the acting governor, Bank of Uganda.
We need to emphasize so much on product diversification. We are working to diversify our financial products, including green bonds, sukuk, and infrastructure bonds, to appeal to the broader investor base. And then, of course, something that we're working with the Ministry of Finance are the high tax rates, such as the 15% dividend tax and withholding tax on government securities. They remain a disincentive because in the region this is not the case.
This year, Uganda's score increased to 63, driven by strong macroeconomic performance and transparency.
We believe robust financial markets are essential for Africa's growth, enabling access to both domestic and global capital. This year, we're in the process of actually reintroducing our custody business, offering customers a comprehensive suite of banking products, including foreign exchange trading, securities lending and borrowing, capital markets administrative processes and services.
While the ascent is welcomed, the finance industry leaders acknowledge that continuous effort is necessary.
The report is ranking peers, but for our own country, it tells a good story. Why? Because the country needs to have that environment to mobilize funding or financing to support the country's growth. As you know, we have a very ambitious growth target for 2040. And what it does, what the report does, is shows that we are putting in place the basic infrastructure to attract and have ability to mobilize that type of funding. We are making good progress. We are not there yet, but it clearly indicates the various pillars for which we need to continue improving and working on to raise the necessary funding.
This positive trend encompasses all 6 essential pillars that drive financial market development: market depth, access to foreign exchange, market transparency, local investor capacity, macroeconomic opportunity, and the enforceability of financial agreements.
Pillar 5 looks at the macroeconomic environment and transparency. On this pillar, Uganda scored very well. We are in second position with a score of 87. The scores increased in 17 countries and reduced in 11 countries. This score considers the macroeconomic environment, transparency of economic data, and policy decisions. We saw many of the economies recovering from the pandemic and, of course, the Russia-Ukraine war.
According to the 2024 edition of the index, an impressive 82% of 29 participating countries reported improved scores, marking the highest level of enhancement in 7 years.
The Ministry of Trade, Industries and Cooperatives, in partnership with MasterCard Foundation, have launched the State of the Entrepreneurship in Uganda 2024 report. The report introduced the National Entrepreneurship Index, which scored 57%, signaling a moderately healthy ecosystem while highlighting the need for targeted interventions.
Uganda's micro, small and medium enterprises account for an impressive 90% of the private sector, contributing 75% of the GDP and employing over 3 million people. Despite this critical role, the SME sector faces systematic challenges that stifle its growth potential.
A good thing, the young population have got the tools. Previously here, it has been our other people who have no knowledge about what is going on. But enhancing technology, adoption of digitalization, the new methods of digitalization, access to finance, fostering entrepreneurial skills to add on what they already have, strengthening market linkages, like we now have the East African community, Uganda market, East African community.
The 2024 State of Entrepreneurship report recommends simplifying registration processes, fostering digital literacy, improving access to affordable financing, and tailoring support for underserved groups such as women, youth, and persons with disabilities.
Largely, we still need to encourage formalization and simplify registration of the enterprises, and also accessing to finance, because many enterprises, of course, fear to register because they feel like once they register, then they'll be asked to pay taxes and all that. But actually, that is the criteria for them to access financing. Without records, without official address, then it becomes difficult.
The National Entrepreneurship Index score of 57% reflects a moderately healthy ecosystem despite the significant barriers that threaten its growth and sustainability.
So in order to build the National Entrepreneurship Index, in this case, we came up with these 8 dimensions that has things like formalization, looking at whether businesses are registered or not registered in the country, looking at financial linkages, how businesses generate money internally, or how businesses borrow or use their own funds that are saved up.
The State of Entrepreneurship report reflects the resilience and potential of Uganda's entrepreneurs. By addressing barriers such as access to finance, digital transformation, and market linkages, Uganda can unlock opportunities for sustainable growth. Komagum Rogers and Dennis Sigoa for UBC.
The West Nile sub-region town of Nebbi is steadily growing. The leadership of the area credits on infrastructure development. We had a chat with the mayor of Nebbi, and this is with our BRU PowerPoint.
It's a pleasure having you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Generally, how is Nebbi?
Nebbi, we are faring, and Nebbi has become a municipal in 2016 financial year. We received it officially on the 1st of July, 2016, And Ngirikeri Geoffrey, who is me, happened to be the first mayor for this municipality. But our election was done in 2018.
Okay.
And that is when I became the mayor for this municipality. So far, so good. We want to thank the government for giving us that initiative. And from that time to now, we are trying to look for all possible ways to see how development could come to our municipality. We are grateful to the government. They have done the design for our modern market, which we call maybe Central Market, which I think is now at the final stage, waiting the president to send his signature to look for loan for us from the African Development Bank, and then we shall be able to construct this magnificent market in our town, which will attract people from DRC Congo, people from Arua, people from Pakwach, people from Zombo. They normally bring their goods here, and the market we have at the moment is very small. Even if I take you now to the market, you will see how congested it is. So this is a very good project that the government is giving us, and we are patiently waiting for it. As now we have sat with you here, we had also the challenge of the office design.
Okay.
We have now completed also the office design, which I think next week with the town clerk, we shall be able to move to Kampala. And these are the infrastructures that the community wants. And we want to thank the government. For now, they are working on the road. Pakwach, Nebi road was very, very bad.
I've experienced it before.
But now they are working on it. They have reached now Wakaba. We are left around 5 kilometers to finish it up to Nebi. And we are grateful. They have also given us 2.6 kilometers, which will be within our town. We have Omaki Road, Anyiri Road, and then Oringi Road. All these roads will be tarmac. And particularly we are interested around the market area. So all these things are working. We are hopefully by April this year, they would have handed over the road construction to us. And I think that is the most important thing that the government is doing for us at the moment. And economically, we are agricultural district.
Exactly, that's the question I actually wanted to ask.
And the municipality. And now we grow varieties of crops in our area. We have cassava, we have banana, we have Irish, we have pineapples. We have all these things, but our challenge is we don't grow them on large scale.
Okay.
We all call them what our president always said, for chamo.
Yeah. You grow crops for the stomach.
For the stomach.
And yet,
we have that potential where if we could grow it in a bigger scale, then we could have that potential. We have so many rivers bypassing our towns. We have River Namtin, we have River Ariendra, we have Nyangam, and we have Nyachara, we have Namrodo.
And the Nile, that is not very far away.
The Nile, which is not, the Nile is only 33.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
33 kilometers from here. And so in all that, that is what normally we see the potential that we have in our area here.
So, Mr. Mayor, coming back to, of course, you've talked about the rivers, the fertile soils. What about the proximity to countries like South Sudan and Congo? Does it have any added advantage to your municipality?
Yeah, that is likewise. I've told you that if we could, by the time we shall have this this important market, this modern market that is coming. We normally have customers from Congo. They bring their goods, they sell to us.
I've actually seen some trailers passing behind here.
Yes.
Which road is that?
This is Paida. They call it Nebigoli Road.
Okay.
And it is 14 kilometers to the border.
From where we are seated?
Yeah, from where we are seated.
Wow.
And the people foot. They carry their luggage and they bring to our market, and by evening they have gone back.
Wow.
And I wish you have come on Tuesday. You would get them selling kitenges, just some small pieces.
I will plan.
Yeah, within our town here.
Regulatory Authority organized the media engagement on the basic information surrounding the electricity sector. This is in the wake of the power vending transition from Umeme to a government entity, UEDCL.
The government, they can access concessional funding. And while we are talking about 20% net of tax for private financing, when it comes to concessional funding, you're looking at levels of 8% and below. So now automatically the cost of financing has more than halved, and that filters directly into the end user tariff.
With electricity outages becoming rampant across the country, the regulator called for patience, attributing load shedding to transitional challenges.
But because the concession has come to its natural end, the company cannot recover that money through the end user tariff, because it will mean front-ending the end user tariff, which does not rhyme with our policy of making the end user tariff affordable.
Engineer Ziria disclosed that amidst the electricity challenges, the Auditor General is assessing and processing the would-be buyout amount to compensate Umeme infrastructure investments.
This amount will only be determined after 31st March 2025, because Umeme is mandated and is required to invest into the network until when the concession comes to an end.
The Umeme concession will expire on the 31st of March 2025, and the regulatory body is expected to conduct a tariff rebasing upon assessing UEDCL operation parameters. These tariffs are expected to be determined by the amount of capital government is willing to invest.
These parameters include the loss factor, the collection rate, the quality of service, the quality of supply. These parameters are different from those of Umeme. Also, the economic regime that UEDCL is going to run will be different from that of Umeme. And therefore, come 1st April 2025, the running tariffs will be different. But again, we are not going to do this privately. We are going to come to the public.
The increased customer base is likely to necessitate a new economic regulation framework to ensure electricity efficiency, sustainability, and affordability. Abdunasil Lubama and Rogers Komagum, UBC.
President Yoweri Museveni has appealed to the business community to embrace marine transport due to its comparative advantage over road transport. While representing President Yoweri Museveni at the launch of the MV Mpungu at Port Bell Luzira, the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, hailed the project implementers for advancing trade and environmental priorities. MV Mpungu, a privately owned vessel, will be plying the Port Bell Mwanza route. Dennis Sigor reports.
Owned by East Africa Marine Transport and operated by Green Road Logistics Africa Uganda, MV Mpungu, a new vessel plying the central corridor route of Port Bell and Mwanza, will offer faster and greener transport options on Lake Victoria. At the inauguration ceremony at Port Bell, Luzira, the Prime Minister Robin Anabanja, who represented President Yoweri Museveni, emphasized the vessel's potential to drive economic and environmental progress.
With a population of 49 million people, Uganda is part of the East African community comprised of over 300 million people. And the East African community is part of the African Continental Free Trade Area, with a combined population of about 1.3 billion people. Accessing these growing markets is vital if we are to achieve the sustainable socio-economic transformation we are working towards. Without access to scheduled flight services on Lake Victoria, accessing markets in neighboring Tanzania and beyond is a challenge. The inauguration of the MV Mpungu, therefore, marks an important milestone for East Africa, advancing our trade and environmental priorities whilst strengthening regional ties.
The 96-meter vessel, one of its kind on the route, will undertake a minimum of 2 scheduled crossings per week. In addition, the vessel has a capacity to carry up to 21 fully laden freight vehicles, the equivalent of up to 1,000 tons of freight per crossing.
I strongly believe that the coming of MV Mpungu will transform trade between Uganda and the other member states with whom we share Lake Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, government is also working to improve the infrastructure of this place.
The shipbuilding investment itself, I'm told, is over $25 million. This is a good investment and a commitment from the co-shareholders. Grindrod's purpose is deeply ingrained in our ethos to positively impact Africa's trade with the world and uplift the communities we serve.
The new development in the region's maritime industry comes at a time when Tanzania and Uganda are enjoying a rapid increase in trade and logistics.
Being in charge of Tanzania Port Authority in Uganda, as we're dealing with the Central Corridor, this is really going to increase our capacity as well as enhance our operations and grow our market much better.
It is much more important because we cannot keep on relying on one port. And on the other hand, there has been very massive improvement of transport infrastructure within the Tanzanian territory. We have had improvement in the railway systems.
The potential to transform Lake Victoria into an important trade route has been recognized by the East African community as an important water body crucial to strengthening regional ties. The newly unveiled MV Mpungu is a unique vessel on the waters of Lake Victoria. Unlike the other vessels that are linked to the railway line, this one, it allows trucks to roll in and roll off with the cargo. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
And that does it for our first edition in the month of February. As we move into a new month with schools reopening, it is a great reminder of the importance of education in fostering the next generation of entrepreneurs and business leaders. From the entire production, have a great week ahead.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
With profound sadness, the Internal Security Organization, Fraternity,